It's an AI voice, I know, but don't click away from the video just because of the AI voiceover. Click off when you don't like the content. Few films manage to cram as much chaotic energy into their runtime as Chuck Russell's 1994 cult classic, The Mask. Starring Jim Carrey in what might be his most unhinged performance, and that's saying something, the film combines slapstick humor, groundbreaking special effects, and a surprisingly poignant exploration of self-identity. It's like watching a Looney Tunes cartoon come to life, but with existential overtones and a dash of over-the-top nightclub glamour. The Jim Carrey show, rubber faces and rubber realities. Let's not kid ourselves. The Mask would be an entirely different movie without Jim Carrey. His portrayal of Stanley Ipkiss, a hapless bank clerk with all the social prowess of a wet tissue, is a masterclass in physical comedy. And then there's the Mask persona itself, a whirlwind of green-faced chaos that feels like Bugs Bunny on a caffeine binge. Carrey's elastic expressions and manic energy transform what could have been a generic superhero comedy into an unforgettable cinematic experience. But the brilliance of Carrey's performance isn't just in the gags, though the Cuban Pete dance number deserves its own entry in the Comedy Hall of Fame. Beneath the zany antics lies a nuanced exploration of identity. As Stanley, he's meek and invisible. As the Mask, he's invincible and outrageous. It's a sharp commentary on the masks we wear, both literal and figurative, to navigate a world that often feels like it's out to crush us. Granted, most of us don't have enchanted Norse artifacts to help us cope, but the metaphor still lands. Special effects that were and still are special. In the pre-CGI saturation era, The Mask was a technological marvel. The film's visual effects, courtesy of Industrial Light and Magic, melded seamlessly with Carrey's performance, amplifying his already cartoonish persona. The iconic moment where the Mask's jaw literally drops to the floor is not just funny, it's a perfect marriage of technology and physical comedy. The effects have aged surprisingly well, likely because they're used to enhance the absurdity, rather than simulate realism. Watching the Mask inflate himself into a human balloon to escape gangsters is as ridiculous now as it was 30 years ago, and that's precisely the point. Themes in disguise, identity, transformation, and living large. While The Mask is first and foremost a comedy, it sneaks in some surprisingly deep themes. At its core, the film is about transformation, not just the literal kind that turns Stanley into a green-faced lunatic, but the metaphorical transformation that comes from embracing your true self. Stanley's journey from timid pushover to someone who can confidently woo a lounge singer, played by a There's Something About Mary Cameron Diaz, is surprisingly heartwarming. And let's talk about that romance. Tina Carlisle's role in the story is, well, classic 90s female love interest, beautiful, slightly underdeveloped, but undeniably magnetic. Diaz's charm makes up for what the script lacks, and her chemistry with both Carrey and his green alter ego adds a touch of human connection amidst the chaos. Pop culture. Impact smoking. The Mask didn't just entertain, it permeated pop culture. Carrey's catchphrases, "Somebody stop me," and exaggerated antics became the stuff of playground reenactments and late-night TV parodies. The film's influence on comedy is undeniable, proving that slapstick and sincerity can coexist. It also paved the way for a wave of superhero films that weren't afraid to embrace their absurdity. The not-so-smoking bits. Of course, The Mask isn't flawless. The plot, while serviceable, is more of a loose framework to connect gags than a compelling narrative. The villain, Dorian Tyrell, is about as threatening as a damp napkin compared to the Mask's larger-than-life antics, and some of the humor, particularly the wolf-whistling moments, hasn't aged particularly gracefully, but these flaws feel almost beside the point in a movie so unapologetically ridiculous. Conclusion: a mask worth wearing. In the end, The Mask is more than the sum of its parts. It's a film that revels in its own absurdity while slyly reminding us of the power of self-expression. Jim Carrey's tour de force performance, the innovative special effects, and the film's irrepressible energy make it a standout not just in the superhero genre, but in comedy as a whole. To paraphrase The Mask himself, it's smoking, and 30 years later, it still is. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Quirky Critic signing out.